Did you go to a sporting event in the last year? Did you take an airplane trip? Did you attend a wedding? Did you go to a graduation ceremony? Did you stay in a hotel? How many times have you been to a restaurant? All of these things have been completely shut down for the vast majority of people. We know, and I'll prove it to you here in a little bit. All right, so we know for a fact those things, the prices of those things are not inflationary. Why? Because the demand has fallen off a cliff. Fallen off a cliff. But now, on the other hand, those same people who no longer spend on going to the Atlanta Braves game or the Washington Redskins game or going to a wedding, they still have the money to spend, all right? Because we either have the stimulus checks, or many people still did not lose their job. I grant you, some people are worse off for sure, but it's not like there's not some money still sloshing around because of Trump or Biden stimulus checks. So that money, which normally would be spent over here, is completely shut down. Instead, it's being spent here on decks, on a swimming pool, on things that we didn't even think about that you would normally do. You're like, I didn't think about that, but I'm going to do that now because I'm going to entertain myself at home on things of that nature. Does that make sense? So is it any surprise when people say, why are the price of used cars going up? Why is the price of lumber going up? I say, because we have such a huge increase in demand, because the freaking expenditures is not going here, but it's going there. Every single Tom, Dick, and Harry is doing the same thing. We haven't increased the level of supply to meet the demand. But we have a huge supply here, but no demand. That's deflationary. So you have an inflationary thing over here, but that's all people want to talk about. They want to talk about inflation as if it's spreading throughout the economy. And yet we have huge deflation over here because it's not inflationary if no one is taking the trip. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so we're going to go to First Trust, and we're going to show you here. Commercial flights down 34% year over year. Commercial flights. TSA, well, that's 34%. Open table state of restaurant industry down 16% from 2019. Not inflationary. Hotel occupancy, not inflationary, down 11%. Let's see. Box office receipts, 86.3%. That money went someplace, man. It either went to pay down debt, to invest, or went to buy other things. Let's see, we got steel production, net tons. That is inflationary. Supply going down. That's definitely inflationary for sure, because supply is going down. Let's see here. Rail car traffic, well, that could be inflationary. It's hard to say just based on that number alone. But supply of gasoline right there, motor gasoline is down. That's inflationary. So supply drop is inflationary for sure. But the commercial flights, the number of people, the demand for this right here, the demand for that right there, the demand for that right there, the demand for that right there is way down. Way down. Let me get Finney, hold on a sec. For economics terms, let's read the textbook example of what happens when the demand curve shifts to the right. Now, in this case, it's shifting to the shift to the left for those other things in terms of timber, in terms of your pool. That all shifted to the right. Shift of the demand curve to the right indicates an increase in demand at whatever price because of factors such as consumer trend or taste has risen for it. Conversely, a shift to the left displays a decrease in demand at whatever price because another factor such as a number of buyers has slumped. Thus, a change in demand curve, this is just a change in the demand curve, right here. A change in the demand curve means that the entire demand curve shifts either to the left or right. The initial demand curve D becomes either D1 or D2. This can be caused by shift in taste, changes in population, changes in income, prices of substitute or complement goods, or changes in future expectations. As a result, the demand curve constantly shifts left to right. There are 5 significant factors that cause a shift in the demand curve: income, trends and tastes, prices of related good, expectations, as well as the size and composition of the. Here's a big shift as they shut down your ability to spend the money as you see fit. That's what a big shift is. They don't. I'm surprised. Well, I'm not really surprised because economics is just a silly thing. But they should be talking about government and regulation. Factors that can shift the demand curve for goods and services, causing a different quantity of demand for any given price, including changes in. We already talked about that. All right. So anyway, what's happening here? This right here is a shift in demand curve. It's not going up and down the same demand curve. It's shifting to the left. Shifting to the left. That's not inflationary. That's deflationary. Everyone knows, said, oh, but it's inflation, inflation, inflation. There's 8,000 million things that are deflationary. We can see it by graphing. Yeah, right. I do. Oh, right here. We can go down here. Hold on a sec. We'll see it by the graph right here. All right. We got weekly. Let's see. Can I make this? Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess we can move my face out of the way. 2020, weekly retail sales. Deflationary. Deflationary. That's inherently inflationary right there. Is it any shock that that will be inflationary when it's fallen off of, I mean, this is like, you can't visualize this any better. That's normal. Kaboom. Kaboom, boom, 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 boom. Jumped up right there from July to September, jumped back down because the second wave of lockdowns, jumping back up, and now we're pretty significantly high. Inflationary. Should that shock anybody coming back from where we're deflationary? It shouldn't shock me. Box office receipts. Here's 2019. Look at that. This is the gray. 2019 box office receipts. 2020. That's not inflationary. That's deflationary. No one's spending money on the freaking going to AMC's. There's no money being spent there, but that money is still most likely in your pocket. So what do? You buy other things. And even 2021, we're still way. So, I mean, I don't know how the movie theaters stay open, man. So that money's going someplace. Steel production. Look, that is inflationary right there. Because that's the production, the supply. Supply goes down. Look at that. Kaboom, man. Does it shocking that the level of stuff is inflationary in that regard? Hotel occupancy. Look at that. Kaboom. The demand for hotels way down. Way down. Look at that. I mean, but even after 2020, it's still way down. Even after right now, it's still way down relative to 2019. It's not inflationary. Restaurants, they don't have 2019 here. Too bad. It's too bad. But anyway, here's a 7-day moving average. Right there. Look at that. Restaurants completely closed from March until May. Completely. There is none. Not inflationary. TSA checkpoint data, even in 2019, even in 2021, we're still significantly below where we were in 2019. Here's 2019, here's 2021. Not inflationary. I mean, it's inflationary in terms of what it was from here, from right there. No, we can go look. TSA checkpoint data. Change since 2019, negative 34%, my friends. Not inflationary. Not inflationary. Let's see what else we got. Commercial flights, 2019, 2020, 2021, not inflationary. Supply of motor gasoline in the U.S. Oh, what do you got? Okay, he's got his toy. And we're starting to get back to where we were. That is inflationary. Why? Because supply. Supply. Stop making this mistake of inflation. Because everyone's just focused on some lumber. They're here lumber. Oh my goodness, lumber is inflationary. And I'm like, okay, how about going out to a restaurant? Is that inflationary or deflationary? It's inherently deflationary. Come on. It's because of chaos of government regulation. There's no other way around that, man. And of course, I will say, at the end of the day, we are the government. We allowed this to happen. As such, we are paying the price for it. But what is inflation over here? Let's just look to the left and see deflation as well before we start going off and saying, you're dumb, inflation is coming. I'll let you be the determination for yourself. Love to hear your thoughts. Thanks now.